This is a session on cross-selling for law firms, and I'm Tony Rice. I used to work in a law firm as the first ever business development director at the firm that's the CMS, whoever else they've merged with this week kind of firm. Before that, I was a management consultant at Deloitte. So I'm going to be able to bring to this talk some insights from the best practice, I think, that exists within the accounting and management consulting world and the legal world. So let's have a look at what we're going to be talking about. We've got some themes for this session, which I'll just go through briefly. We've got something to say about why this is kind of tricky for law firms to do well. And I'm going to talk about what I consider to be the psychological barriers that exist in cross-selling. And I'll explain that when we get to it. Then the other tricky thing I think about cross-selling is that it can mean different things for different people. So I'm going to look at a little diagram that shows there's different types of cross-selling. And some types are easier than others, some types are better than others. So pretty near the beginning of this talk, I'm going to be looking at that matrix of all the different types of cross-selling. And then there's a great sort of management theorist for the legal sector, a guy called David Maister. And I'm going to talk a bit about his writings on this topic, where he talks about integrated approaches to cross-selling versus the traditional approaches. He'll say why the traditional approaches don't work, and I'll talk about the differences and help you get to understand some of that deep thinking that this chap David Maister has done on the subject, all of which I think is spot on. Then there's a role for management in cross-selling. I'll explain what that is and why that's important. And I've assumed in this talk that I'm going to have a mixture of different people tuning into it. When I do this live, I tend to get a lot of business development professionals on this talk, and what I say is going to be very relevant to them. But I think it's also going to be relevant for partners in law firms where you have, if you like, a key relationship with an important client, and where you feel you may want to be introducing some of your colleagues in the firm to your client, because there are opportunities for the client to get the expertise of your colleagues. So there's going to be some relevance for you if that's the situation that you're in. Plus also, I'm going to be covering this from the position of what if you're a specialist partner in a law firm, and if you like, you need to be introducing your services through your colleagues. So we're going to look towards the end of this talk on about us. I'm calling it Tom the Tax Partner, classic sort of specialist service in most firms, and what should Tom be doing to persuade colleagues internally to be able to introduce Tom to the clients of the firm.